Hi, I'm Ken.
And I'm Nancy.
We talk about fun, everyday, fascinating topics in English.
Anytime, anywhere.
Your new favorite English podcast. Let's get into it.
日常英語ラボ
I had a weird thought about English last week.
That sounds dangerous.
I was talking about a party and I said, we should pull out all the stops.
Pull out all the stops.
Right? Totally normal to us. But then I thought, what are the stops?
Yeah, that's one of those phrases you never question until someone points it out.
Exactly. So I made a list of English idioms we really use, even though the words sound pretty strange.
Then let's talk about some of those idioms.
Yeah, what they mean, where they came from, and how we actually use them.
Perfect. Weird, but useful. 日常英語ラボ
Let's start with the one that started all of this. Pull out all the stops.
Pull out all the stops.
We use it when we do everything we can to make something go well.
And the strange part is that the stops are real. They come from a pipe organ. A stop is one of the controls on the organ. Pulling it lets a set of pipes play. So pulling out more stops meant using more of what the organ could do. That idea later came to mean using everything you've got.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so how would we use it now? Say your friend is planning a huge wedding.
You could say, they're really pulling out all the stops for the wedding.
That one is much easier to remember once you can picture the organ. Okay, I've got one we use all the time. Cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase.
It means to skip the extra talk and get to the important part.
This one comes from movie making. Cut meant moving to another shot or scene, and the chase was a chase scene. So the idea was skip ahead and get to the exciting part. And now we use it for the important part of a conversation.
For example, if you've been telling me a very long story,
You might say, okay, cut to the chase. What happened?
I would never say that to you.
That pause felt suspicious. That reminds me of one where your first guess is probably wrong. A wild goose chase.
A wild goose chase.
It means a long search that gets you nowhere.
And no, it didn't start with people running after geese.
Which is exactly what the words make you imagine.
It was the name of an old game on horseback. One rider went first, and the others followed the same path behind. The game was called a wild goose chase. Later, the phrase took on the meaning we use now. So if a wrong address has you walking around for an hour,
You can say, that address sent me on a wild goose chase.
still no goose.
I'm still a little disappointed.
All right, let's do the food one. The proof is in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding.
We use it when you have to try something before you know if it's really good or really works.
The phrase makes more sense when you hear the older, full version. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. And proof used to have a meaning closer to test. So you find out if the pudding is good by eating it.
Much better than the evidence is hiding inside the dessert.
And in real life, say someone shows you a new app that looks amazing.
You could say, it looks great, but the proof is in the pudding.
Okay, that's 4 already. This is a lot, right?
Yeah, if you're listening and thinking, how am I supposed to remember all of these? Fair.
But these are the kinds of phrases you really do hear in everyday conversations.
And you don't want one weird phrase to make you lose track of the whole conversation.
Exactly. You don't have to remember every origin today. If the story helps the phrase stick, that's already useful.
So, are you still with us?
We've got 5 more. We can do this.
All right, keep going.
Here's another one I hear a lot. Pass the buck.
Pass the buck.
It means pushing your responsibility onto someone else.
The buck here isn't money. This one comes from poker. A marker called a buck showed who had the job of dealing the cards. When that job moved to the next player, the buck moved too. And that gave us the idea of passing responsibility to someone else. So if something goes wrong at work and someone keeps blaming everyone else,
You might say, "Stop passing the buck. This was your decision."
Very useful phrase, not a fun situation. Speaking of giving up responsibility, how about just giving up? Throw in the towel.
Throw in the towel.
It simply means to give up.
And this one comes from boxing. A boxer's team could throw a towel into the ring to show they wanted the fight stopped. So the real action and the idiom are pretty close. Give up the fight. Give up on what you're doing.
And we use it for normal things too. Say you've been trying to fix your laptop for 2 hours.
I give up. I'm throwing in the towel.
2 hours? I would have thrown it in after 20 minutes.
That is why I fix your laptop.
日常英語ラボ
Okay, this next one gives you almost no clue from the words. By and large.
By and large.
It means in general or overall.
But this one comes from old sailing language.
Okay, so what did by and large mean?
Back then, by meant sailing almost toward the wind. Large meant sailing with the wind coming more from the side or behind.
So they were two very different ways of sailing.
Right. If a ship could sail well by and large, it could sail well in both kinds of conditions. Over time, the phrase came to mean in general.
Okay, that actually makes sense now.
And if you want to use it today, you could say, by and large, the new schedule works.
I've said that phrase so many times and never thought about a boat.
Now you will. I think knowing where these phrases came from makes them much easier to remember.
Same. A random phrase turns into a little story.
And good news, only 2 left.
See? We're almost there.
Here's a dramatic one. The writing is on the wall.
The writing is on the wall.
We say it when the signs are clear that something bad is probably coming. I don't know a lot about the Bible, but this one comes from a story in the book of Daniel. A king is having a feast, and mysterious writing suddenly appears on a wall. The message is understood as a warning that his kingdom is about to end.
So the writing on the wall was literally a sign of a bad ending.
Now imagine a store is almost empty. Staff are leaving, and nobody is ordering new products.
You might say, "They haven't announced it yet, but the writing is on the wall."
Definitely not the happiest idiom today.
All right, last one. Head over heels.
Head over heels.
We usually hear it in head over heels in love, meaning completely in love.
But if you think about the words, your head is already over your heels when you're standing.
Exactly. The older version was heels over head. That was used for going upside down, like doing a flip. Later, the order changed to head over heels. We know the change happened, but we don't know exactly why. And later, it also became a way to talk about being deeply in love. So if your friend can't stop talking about someone,
You could say, wow, you're really head over heels in love.
the less logical version won.
Language does that sometimes. 日常英語ラボ
Okay, 9 weird English idioms.
And the nice thing is, they feel a lot less random once you know the story behind them.
Which one was your favorite?
I'm picking the pudding one. It sounds ridiculous until you hear the full saying.
I'm still going with wild-goose chase, mostly because there was no goose.
What about you? And seriously, don't worry if you can't remember all 9 right away.
If one of these comes up in a real conversation and you recognize it, that's already a win.
Tell us your favorite in the comments and try using one in a sentence if you want. And if you want these to stick, come back and watch this episode again later.
Yeah, give it a like so you can find it again easily.
The second time, these phrases should feel a lot easier. 日常英語ラボ
Thanks for listening to our whole conversation, all the way to the end.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe.
It really keeps us going. Bye.
Bye!